10 simple steps to a cozy home. Lately, there have been a few people who have come into my home, just friends, and they have asked me the question, how do you make your home feel so cozy? And first of all, thank you. It's such an honor. It did get me thinking, and I realized that there is a formula that I go through for each room, really, to make sure that it feels cozy and cohesive and also functional for our family. So I've condensed this into a list of 10 tips, and I'm going to share footage from around my own home to show you examples. I read my husband some of these ideas yesterday, and he was like, that's a pretty good list. So I hope that you will agree. None of these are just like, get a candle, get a throw pillow, throw a blanket, whatever it is. No, we're moving on from that. Before we dive into this list, I have a very exciting thing I want to share with you guys, and that is 3D renderings from the bathroom renovation that I talked about last week. I will put up a picture of the before of this space. It is been untouched pretty much since we moved in. We have big plans for this. You guys saw me show you my mood board, and I showed you all of the tile options and fixture options, and I did a cost analysis to show you how much we expect that this will cost in materials at least. It was really, really fun for me to get that out on paper to like actually be able to see it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing that one. I'm filming this video before I posted that video, but I have something very exciting today, which is 3D renderings. I just got these back from West Village Interior. So a huge thank you to West Village Interior for sponsoring today's video. Kate was my interior designer for this project. She was lovely. I'll put up some clips of our conversation as well as her doing her magic, creating this 3D rendering. I don't know how she was able to do it. There was like circles and angles involved and everything. But West Village Interior is an interior design firm that offers end-to-end solutions from concept to execution. I could not agree more with one of their core values, which is interior design is not just a luxury, but is an investment in your quality of life. The things that we do in our home create our memories, they create our lives. Like, we're home a good bit, especially as a mom of 3 little boys. I'm home a lot and I'm hosting. I want my space to be functional and beautiful and inviting. And West Village Interior helps you achieve just that. I love decorating, but sometimes for projects that are so big, like renovations, I love getting an outside opinion on things. And so I was so grateful when they were able to give me suggestions. Like Kate gave me the suggestion of actually taking out that wall that's separating the sink and the bathtub, and I hadn't really thought of it. So I'm gonna put up some pictures of that. So let me know what you guys would do. Would you guys leave that wall to like leave privacy for the toilet area, or would you just take it down? Because once she took it down, it looked so much better. And then Kate was able to use the tile options that I had saved from all of the stores that I had sourced from and actually put those into the space so that I could see what they would look like next to each other. This was so valuable because I had a lot of patterns going on. The amount of work and money that we're about to put into this bathroom, I want to make sure that the design choices we make are good, are perfect. And so seeing these 3D models as well as her ideas was so valuable. She brought up to me the really good point about tile. It needs to be different scales, so it needs to be different sizes. I could have some small tile and then I need to have some big tile to contrast that. That was really helpful for me because I do want a mixed, eclectic look in there so that it looks high-end and designer, not just cookie cutter, builder grade. I loved her idea to add a pendant light above the sink as well. I was thinking of just doing a recessed light as well as 2 sconces, but she came up with the idea of actually doing a pendant light there, and it really filled in the area above the mirror, above the sink. So I loved that suggestion. It made me want to do that, like swap out the one in our bathroom actually, because we just have a recessed with 2 sconces on the side, because I didn't think about that. So I'm about to reveal to you the final design that we came up with, but I wanted to point out some things in the model here. So to the right of the shower stall where there's that green panel, that's actually a spot that we were able to put some hidden storage. So it'll be a 18-inch wide cabinet that goes half the depth of the bathtub, and that will give us some hidden storage for specifically potty training, things that we always need in here. And it will still allow us to have a little alcove inside the shower for soap and shampoo and that kind of thing. All right, are you guys ready to see the final renderings? Here they are. I am absolutely obsessed with how these came together. There were selections in here that I would not have thought of, but Kate gave me those suggestions and I am absolutely obsessed. I think that they look so good, and she was able to like see inside my head and put it out there onto paper. So the only difference between this one and the one you just saw is that the interior wall is maintained in this version here. So let me know what you guys would do and let me know how you think that these look. I am obsessed. In addition to 3D renderings, West Village Interior is also able to source furniture for you. They have direct relationships with manufacturers so that you can get things faster as well as get special discounts. New clients will receive special access to their new membership program, which grants you exclusive access to discounts across thousands of brands, and that is launching this fall. West Village Interior services are customizable for various budgets, as well as they are having some holiday sales coming up. So click the link down in my description down below so that you can get started. And thank you so much, West Village Interior, for sponsoring today's video. All right, so let's dive into step one of how to have a cozy home with color palette. I recently got a coffee table book that's like seasonal decorating based, and in the beginning of each season they have a little color palette, and it reminded me of something that I did when we moved into this home. I actually found the idea from another YouTuber, Caroline Winkler, but she uses this app called Coolers. And so it's this free app that you can create and generate color palettes. I'll put up some of the ones that I was like messing around with this morning. But the one that I used for my home is this one. And something that I was struggling with when we moved in is that there was a lot of orange. The previous owners in this home actually left a good bit of furniture for us, which is beautiful. These are beautiful antique pieces, but they're very like orangey woods. And so I wanted to find a way to like make them work. We also ended up putting terracotta floors, saltillo floors, and so that is an orange. So I contrasted that with a lot of really dark brown as well as pink and blue, because I found that those colors worked really well in this palette. So those are the main colors that I have in my home. I try to keep that cohesive in each room. You'll see as I show you some B-roll clips that really each room has some blue, some green, some orange, some brown, some white. And then of course there's other colors in there as well, but I keep it cohesive like that, and I think that really helps. This isn't tip 2 yet, but I also think that mixing color tones of wood is so important. So I have a lot of really dark wood, and I also have the more like orangey wood. I don't really have like any cool wood though. I think that as long as you stay with like warm tones, that's definitely my bias, is sticking towards warm toned wood, then you can really mix any type of wood and it looks really good. Okay, tip number 2 is greenery in every room. Now, this does not have to be like a fresh, like a plant, like a growing live plant. I just kill all of my plants. Like I'm not good at that. You don't have to be either though, because what I have discovered is you can use dried florals. I currently have a lot of dried florals in my living room here because I just decorated for fall with a bunch of them, and I love it in this season. You can also take advantage of yard waste day and take things from your neighbor's yards, or take things even and start propagating them inside. Currently I have a rubber plant that I just like chopped off, and one of you guys actually told me that it will root if I put it in water, and it sure has. It has grown roots, and so soon I'll be able to plant this and have another plant. But also faux plants. I have tons of faux plants in my house as well, and I just noticed that if any room is missing something, it's usually something green, something organic with like natural movement. It adds so much coziness. I also use Greenery to cover unsightly outlets and like routers, and I always try to put Greenery up high. Like I don't really have any plants on the ground because I have he'll be crawling very soon, and I have another toddler, little boy. So it needs to be up high. All right, step number 3 is pretty obvious if you've been watching this channel at all, but thrift your furniture. We moved into this home about a year and a half ago, and I have been just pretty much thrifting everything. I've gotten a few things new, but if I had gone out and bought everything at Target or any of those big box stores, whatever, all of my stuff would look dated, probably already by now, but definitely in 5 years, my home will look like a time capsule. So I think it is so important that we do source things on Facebook Marketplace. I did do a video on all of my tips for Facebook Marketplace, and I will link that down in the description below. I shared like a haul of everything that I purchased in the year, like since we've been here, and it was really fun. But I will say right now, we just went through 2 hurricanes in our area, and so I am staying off Facebook Marketplace. Everyone has been like warning people, and I've looked on there and everything is just water. Everything is water damaged, which is so sad. And people are putting stuff out in the street, and then people come and they pick it up and then they sell it. Well, you guys saw that I recently had a piece of furniture that was water damaged, and it ended up getting like these beetles in it. So I'm just staying off Facebook Marketplace for a few months until all of that settles down and I can like trust pieces on there. But I did share some tips of things that I always ask people on Facebook Marketplace so that I don't get scammed and don't get like a piece of furniture that is just awful, or end up driving like so far to pick something up and then it's just awful. Number 4, one that you might not think of that is making your home less cozy, but one that is so important, and that is contain clutter. Nobody wants to be in a space that is messy and has stuff out that you don't want people to see. So some of the best ways that I have found to contain clutter is having closed storage. So I have a giant cabinet in my laundry room that really houses a ton of stuff. Things in the bottom are things that need to go outside of my house, like thrifted donations, or things that I need to like bring to people's house, like give them back and everything. And then things at the top are things that came into my house and I just haven't had a place to put them away. So maybe I'll open the cabinet a little bit so you could see just how messy it is in there. But this is so important to have a spot that you can put things. Other ideas that people talk about all the time is having trays to like contain things on the kitchen counter or on the coffee table. Something that I have up here is a chessboard that kind of just adds a little bit of containment for putting things up on top of, as well as coffee table books are really good for that. I use coffee table books all around my home. That could be like another tip, but I use them just to add a cozy little layer, as well as raise heights on things to make things not look awkward and like all at the same level. I also just added a really long cabinet. It's actually 3 cabinets that I like squished together, and that was an affordable find that I got on Amazon, so I will link that one down below. I searched forever to find something that would work in that like spot. This one I found, I absolutely love it. All right, tip number 5 is layer lighting. This is something I'm still working on. I have a tendency to get lamps that are too small. I just find them when I'm thrifting, like they're always a little bit too small. So it's always better to get lamps that are a little bit bigger if you can, but I really thrift all of my lamps. There's so many out there. I will say that lamp shades are a little bit harder to find just because they get kind of yellowy in the inside and it doesn't look like as modern and crisp as I like. There is a abundance of lamps out there. You can also think about lamps like chandelier pendant lights. I have one over my writing desk in our bedroom, and it just adds a really nice ambient glow. You can also think about using sconce lighting, and these don't have to be hardwired. They can just be plug in, and then you can get these strips. You can paint the same color as the wall that just like cover, you know, the cord. I actually need to get one of those for my pendant light above my desk, but home takes time, y'all. That is just something I have not gotten to. Number 6 is one that I don't think many people talk about, but that is to pick a common motif. So what I mean by this is creating a cozy, cohesive home by repeating things in the home so that it doesn't feel like too disjointed, even when things are eclectic and thrifted and everything. So to give an example, outside on my patio, I have thrifted furniture pretty much. So I wanted to have all like iron furniture to give that kind of like European patio feel. But something that I noticed I've been drawn to is diamond patterns. So I have a diamond pattern rug out there, as well as diamond pattern on the chairs. And we have this diamond pattern trellis that my dad built us that I have vines growing up. And then I also have swirls out there. So a few of my chairs have swirls on them. The couch has a like swirl on the handle, the table. All of these things are just things I've thrifted and found on Facebook Marketplace. They're all kind of random, but they all work together because they have those cohesive elements. Number 7 is artwork everywhere. Everywhere, even in the bathroom, even in like the little corners. Use those little spaces to create a moment. I have a little spot that I've created a kind of little small 3 grouping gallery wall over a little chair. Anywhere that is like a little awkward space, try to put a piece of art there and it will instantly feel more cozy. This is something I'm still working on. One of the ways that I could do this very affordably is using open access websites where artwork, I guess if it's been like the artist died, then the artwork becomes open access and you can just have these things printed. I've done this for a number of different frames, and what I use is a little trick of like using Mod Podge, just like stroking it all messy on there, and it makes it look like an original oil painting, or at least better. And then I try to take the glass out as well, just to make it look more authentic, more real. I think I've only ever bought like 2 like new frames for this house because I'm just able to find so many frames while thrifting. You can always take the glass out. You can always paint the mat in there. And there's one in my bathroom. Maybe I'll get it done before I post this video, but I would love to paint the mat on it green. I think it will look really good. These are just like basic frames, but adding that colored matte in there makes it look so much more high-end. Tip number 8 is only use natural materials. So what I mean by this is focusing on stuff like cotton and wool, linen, iron, leather, stone, and having at least 3 of each of these things in each line of sight. So looking at my coffee table, obviously the coffee table is wood, but then on top of this, I have some stone, wood, I have this thing, whatever this is, rattan, and then I have some ceramic, and then this natural dried eucalyptus. That mixture of natural materials I think is so important. Okay, we're back. I just spilled my water, but clean that up. I will say that there's a few things that I have in my home that we just haven't made the switch to all natural fibers, like rugs. I've tried the wool rug thing, and it hasn't been the most comfy for my kids. Like, we spend a lot of time on the floor, and they were so pathetic. They would like bring their like blanket over from the bed to lay on the floor. And I would rather have just a really soft, cozy rug than a wool rug that's really beautiful and it is itchy. So that's one thing. And then also my kids really like those like fluffy plush blankets, so we still have a few of those for them, but I much prefer like a nice cotton blanket or one that just has a lot of texture in it. It looks much more cozy and much more elevated as well. So I hear a little baby waking up, and those last 2 ones are very important. So I'm actually going to show you before and afters of these because I haven't done these in a little while on the channel, and that is a rug and some curtains. So I'm going to show you those tips and show you just how important and how big of a difference that it makes. Okay, all right, this one woke up. Before I forget, I wanted to tell you guys, thank you guys so much for all of your love on my recent video where I shared kind of like a day in the life video with timestamps, and I did some like decorating swaps, and I just was like more vulnerable than normal in this space. And it talks about some anxiety that I've been dealing with, as well as just the real life struggles right now. And so many of you all just left the most encouraging, beautiful comments down below, and like private DMs messaged me on Instagram, just saying like how seen you felt through that video. And that was exactly my intent. I wanted for you guys to feel seen, but also for like myself to feel seen, because often in this space, like I'm just sharing the very best versions and very polished, put together versions, but y'all know that's not always the case. I have 3 little kids and a husband who has to work a lot in this season, so that's just the reality. So thank you guys so much, and go back and read through some of those comments, because people like left some beautiful things if you missed it, and I'll like link it down in the description below. All right, so I've got a movie night that we're actually gonna start prepping for. I've got to clean the house a little bit. We're having my in-laws over, as well as some friends hopefully that are gonna come, and we're just gonna watch a movie outside with this like projector I got. So we're gonna get to that, and then I'll show you those last 2 tips in action. Okay, we had a lovely movie night last night outside. It was so nice. We like set up a little projector that I got, and it was just so sweet. But I have a Cheerios box with me because this is part of the next tip, which is hanging curtains. And I'm going to show you just how much of a difference it makes, because there's one spot that we haven't hung up curtains yet, and that is in my boys' room. I did this previously, and I'll link a video down below of me actually making our own curtains. I don't think it's the most affordable thing anymore, actually, to make your own. So I just got some on Amazon that looked pretty good, and they're like kind of linen-y texture, and they're a really bold color. So I'll show you that. But this is a template that I use to get the holes correct, and I've just saved this template for all of the windows in this house. So let me go ahead and show you how we do this and how much of a difference it makes. So like you just saw, I line up that Cheerios box up on the ceiling so it will be level with the ceiling, and then I line the corner of it up with the corner of the window. I explained this more in the video that I showed where I actually created my DIY curtains, but the hack has worked really well, and it makes it super easy to get everything nice and level and even between all of the curtains in our home. I went with this dark green curtain color in here, which I think is really, really beautiful. The wall color is showing up a lot more yellowy here in video than it is in person. It's actually like a more rich green, and I just want to have this color kind of drenching this room. That's a trend right now of like color drenching. I don't want to do the exact tone though, so I do want lots of different tones of green. I want to bring in some green bedding soon, and all of a sudden this spot went from looking like that to this. I think that it just really raises the ceilings. It makes this room look so much more complete, more wholesome, if that's a good description. I'm not sure. I just love this, and it makes it look so much more cozy. All right, guys, we're finally there. We're finally to tip number 10. While I was doing this, I actually realized there's a few more that I could have included. So if you want a part 2, let me know down in the comments below, and give this video a like if you enjoyed it, as that really helps support the channel, and subscribe if you haven't for lots of upcoming holiday content. Isn't that insane? Like, we're already almost through fall and ready to start decorating for Christmas, which I'm super excited for. It's gonna be so cozy. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss all of that. And we're gonna do a little garden refresh. I know it seems like a weird time to be refreshing the garden, like you should do that in spring, but for us now in Florida, we can actually enjoy our patio and being outside so much more through the winter. So we're gonna give it some love, and so we're gonna do that this weekend, and I will share with you kind of a before and after of that as well. So make sure you come back for that, and don't forget to check out West Village Interior. Any of your interior design needs, they can customize things for your budget and for your needs, so make sure you check them out in the link down in my description. Now for tip number 10, get a rug. I actually filmed these clips last night, and I already had a rug in this space, so you won't really see like the full impact of how much of a difference it makes, but this rug fits the color palette so much better. So let me go ahead and show you. These clips really were taken at night, so sorry, I apologize for the dark lighting, but this was just the only time that Dominic and I were able to actually do this together. We thought that we'd be able to cover the old rug in there with this newer one that's actually from our family room that we like swapped out, but it was like 2 inches too short, so that was my bad for not measuring it. I thought it would just function as like another rug pad under there, having the old rug under there, but that's okay. We rolled it up and we'll find a spot to store it. Now, even if you have carpet in your home, getting a rug is going to make a huge difference. It really grounds the space, provides an additional layer of coziness and comfort. It is always better to err on the side of having a rug that is too large than one that is too small. It's not really possible to have one that's too large unless it like doesn't fit in the room with the walls. But you want to make sure that you can have at least the front legs of each piece of furniture on top of the rug. This is especially true in the living room where you have the couch and chair legs on top of the rug. That really makes a huge difference. This is what it looked like before with the old rug. It was just kind of washed out, I think, and here is with the new rug. I love the boldness that this brings, and I think it makes it so cozy. What do you guys think?